We almost made a massive mistake when we planned our trip to Ecuador. Seriously, we had the classic list all mapped out. Quito's historic center, a quick photo op at the equator, and then a beeline straight to the Galapagos. It's the trip everyone does for a reason, right? But as we were about to book, this nagging feeling crept in. Was that really it? Were we about to fly halfway across the world just to check a few boxes? We were so close to seeing Ecuador from the travel guides, but then we stumbled upon a side of the country that most people fly right over, and it completely changed our trip for the better. We found out that tucked between the famous landmarks are the real gems: volcanic crater lakes, misty cloud forests buzzing with life, and adventure towns that are the gateway to the Amazon. This is the Ecuador you can't afford to miss, and we're going to show you exactly why. Our journey into Ecuador's heart started with a name we could barely pronounce: Quilotoa. Forget any lake you've seen before. This is on another level. About a 3-hour bus ride from Quito, the city disappears, and the landscape morphs into the rugged, windswept highlands of the Andes. And then, you see it. You walk up to the rim of a collapsed volcano, and nestled inside is Quilotoa Lake, a crater filled with the most stunning turquoise water imaginable. The color is unreal. It shifts between emerald and milky blue as the sun and clouds dance overhead. Photos just don't do it justice. The sheer scale of the place, with the wind whipping around you, makes you feel like you're on another planet. You can hike the entire rim of the caldera, and every turn gives you a new, jaw-dropping perspective. But the real adventure is the steep hike down to the water's edge. It's a challenge, especially with the altitude, but the reward is incredible. Down at the bottom, the world goes quiet. You can rent a kayak and paddle out into the middle of this volcanic cauldron. While the mineral-rich water is too cold for a swim, being out there, surrounded by those jagged walls, is a humbling, almost spiritual experience. This place felt like a secret. A world away from crowded city squares, we were surrounded by the raw power of nature. This was our first taste of the other Ecuador, and it left us hungry for more. From the high-altitude Andes, we descended into a completely different universe, the Mindo cloud forest. Tucked into the Andean foothills, Mindo is a literal paradise where the clouds get tangled in the lush green canopy. The entire place feels alive, buzzing with energy and biodiversity. Mindo is famous as a birdwatcher's dream, with over 450 species. But you don't need to be an expert to be amazed. We'd just be sitting, sipping coffee, and a toucan would fly by, or a dozen types of hummingbirds would be zipping around a feeder inches from our faces. Their wings beat so fast, they're just a blur, creating a constant energetic hum that becomes the soundtrack of Mindo. But there's more than just birds. We spent a day hiking the Ruta de las Cascadas, a network of waterfalls where you can take a dip in cool, natural pools hidden deep in the forest. To get there, you ride a tarabita, a cable car that glides you high above the forest canopy, giving you incredible views. Then it's a trek on foot from one stunning waterfall to the next. If you need a shot of adrenaline, you can zip line through that same misty canopy. And for a change of pace, you can visit a local chocolate maker. Seeing how cacao beans go from a funky-looking fruit to a rich dark chocolate bar is a treat for all your senses. Mindo is a place that just wakes you up. The smell of rain on the soil, the bright colors of orchids, the constant song of the jungle. Honestly, just talking about this makes me want to go back. If you're feeling that same travel bug, and you want to find more spots that will totally change how you travel, do us a huge favor and hit that subscribe button. We live for finding these hidden gems, and we want to share them all with you. Next, we headed to a town that truly lives and breathes adventure, Banos de Agua Santa. The name means baths of holy water, thanks to the hot springs heated by the nearby Tungurahua volcano. But everyone really knows it as the gateway to the Amazon, and it has the energetic, up-for-anything vibe to match. Banos is a playground. The landscape is all steep canyons, raging rivers, and countless waterfalls. The must-do activity is biking the Ruta de las Cascadas, a mostly downhill ride that takes you past one waterfall after another. The grand finale is the Pilón del Diablo, or Devil's Cauldron. It's a waterfall so powerful you can feel its thunder through the ground. You can get unbelievably close on a series of suspension bridges and rock-carved staircases. Standing there with the spray hitting your face is a moment of pure power. But the most famous picture from Banos has to be the swing at the end of the world. At a viewpoint called Casa del Arbol, it's a simple swing that launches you out over a deep canyon with the Tungurahua volcano looming in the distance. It's both terrifying and thrilling, and it feels exactly like you're swinging off the edge of the planet. Besides the swing, you can go white water rafting, try canyoning down waterfalls, or even paraglide over the valley. After all that adrenaline, we were ready for a dose of culture, and there's no better place than the Otavalo market. This is one of the biggest and most vibrant indigenous markets in all of South America. On Saturday, the main market day, the town of Otavalo completely overflows into the streets, starting at the Plaza de los Ponchos. The local Otavaleños are master weavers, and you'll find thousands of blankets, alpaca sweaters, ponchos, and tapestries in every color you can imagine. But it's so much more than a shopping trip. It's a full-on cultural immersion. You hear traditional Andean music in the air, smell street food cooking on grills, and see the Otavaleño people in their traditional dress. Women in beautifully embroidered blouses, and men with their iconic long braided hair. We also made sure to visit nearby villages like Pagush, where you can see weavers and musicians at work in their own shops. It wasn't just about watching a culture from a distance. It was about connecting with it, talking with the artisans, and understanding the history behind what they do. It felt less like we were tourists and more like we were making a real connection. So, how can you do all this? The great news is, getting off the beaten path in Ecuador is surprisingly easy. The bus system is fantastic and ridiculously cheap. For just a few bucks, you can get from Quito to any of these spots. The buses are how the country moves, and riding them is an adventure in itself, with stunning views out the window. Knowing a little Spanish definitely helps, but don't let a language barrier scare you. People are incredibly warm and happy to help you out. Just learning a few key phrases, hola, gracias, cuánto cuesta, will get you a long way. As for safety, just be smart, like you would anywhere. Keep an eye on your bags on public transport, don't walk around flashing expensive gear, and ask your hostel or hotel for local advice. Honestly, we felt incredibly safe and welcomed by the warmth of the Ecuadorian people the entire time. Our trip to Ecuador taught us a huge lesson about travel. We almost settled for the highlights, for the postcard pictures everyone takes. But by pushing ourselves to look a little further, we found a country that was more vibrant, adventurous, and real than we ever imagined. We discovered a place of 4 worlds in one: the Andes, the Amazon, the coast, and the Galapagos, and learned that the real magic happens in the spaces between them. So, don't visit Ecuador just for the famous sights. Go to hike into the heart of a volcano. Go to get lost in a misty cloud forest. Go to swing at the end of the world and feel the spray from a dozen waterfalls. This is the side of the country that will stick with you long after you're home. This is the Ecuador you truly can't afford to miss. What about you? Have you been to Ecuador? What are some of your favorite spots that we missed? Let us know in the comments below. We're always looking for new places to check out, and your ideas help everyone in this community. And if you haven't already, please subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next adventure. Thanks for watching.